Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Terra Firma Business and Financial Consultants. This channel is our asset coach and tax strategist. And our goal here is to focus on you, the business owner. If you've seen any of our videos already, it's really geared to you as a business owner, understanding what the politics, understanding what the social media, the media outlets, what they're saying and how they're saying it. Our goal is to translate to what that means and what we need to do to combat it. And so our focus is the book Economic Termites, where we write about taxes, inflation, time, laws and regulations, and debt, and our focus on how those economic termites can eat away at all our hard work and wealth as business owners and our community. And so today's video is going to be very specific to California. A lot of people like to say that what happens in California will eventually happen in all the states. I disagree with that, but at the same time, it's up to you and I to make sure that doesn't happen. The reality is that there are enough areas in the country that are trying to follow suit, and unfortunately, those minority thoughts and minority ideas are what's driving the majority to have to just follow suit. We're really kind of becoming lambs and sheep, and we're going to the slaughter. And so collectively, as American citizens, as those that come to this country, maybe not citizens, but come to this country because of what America offers, we need to stand together and not allow this stuff to happen. And here's a great example of gas prices in California. That's what this video is about, gas prices in California. And we're going to go through this, and I'm gonna demystify some of the things that are being done to kind of create clicks, right? Create views. So let's go ahead and minimize my screen here. So why California gas is so expensive, and it's not just taxes, okay? And so they love to put this picture of Beverly Hills. They'll use Bel Air. They'll use these high multi-mansion areas, and they'll use gas prices in those areas. And so $6, and so you and I across the country, I'm originally from California, so the majority of the country is going to go, oh my goodness, look at what they're... That's not the rest of the state. And we'll actually go and look at the highest in the average counties in in California. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So when gas is expensive around the country, it's really expensive in California. Well, why does a Golden State, which is tarnishing, it shouldn't really be called the Golden State anymore, always have the highest prices at the pump? It's not just our taxes, though there are definitely some of those. That's cute. Some of those. A lot of those. First off, geography, sorry, is a big factor. The West Coast is kind of a petro island, which is a head of petroleum analysis at GasBuddy. The Rocky Mountains cut off the West from the rest of the country, making it a tight and more secluded market. Okay. I'm going to disagree with that, but let's continue to read, and I'll come back and explain why I disagree with that. When there's an issue on the West Coast, it can cause a price spike because there's not a relief valve, so to speak. If a refinery in the Great Lakes goes down, gasoline can flow via pipeline from the Gulf Coast to the East Coast to the Midwest. California and the West Coast basically have no relief pipeline. Okay, that means if something goes wrong, even something relatively minor like refinery maintenance taking a week longer than expected, prices on the West Coast will be hit immediately. Last year, for example, there was a refinery activity in the Pacific Northwest, had to slow down production amid a record heat wave. Even the disruption led to higher gas prices. Okay, let's talk about this first point. Why? Well, because I call BS. Remember that game BS? I call BS. Yes, the Rocky Mountains are there. Beautiful mountain ranges. It's wonderful. There are plenty of trucks that come in and out. The West Coast has some of the largest ports in the United States and in the world. Why? Because the Pacific brings those materials, and somehow those same goods and services make it to the rest of the country. Okay, same roads as gas. Now they're saying pipelines don't go through the Rockies. True, but the politicians on the West Coast have made the decision not to do certain drilling offshore. If you go and look at Long Beach and Huntington Beach, used to be some major oil wells and refinery. So on the West Coast, there was tons of it. The politicians have shut a lot of that down to where, yeah, when you have a refinery on the West Coast that has to get slowed down, it does affect it. But the West Coast did not have to rely on anybody else for a long time. Okay, so that's the politicians' fault. Okay, let's make sure that that's very clear. So they're accurate in what they're saying, but it's a consequence due to politicians and their decisions. Okay, because of a frog or because of a mosquito or a rare worm or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden they got to protect the worm or the mosquito or whatever, and then they use those issues of why they don't want to do anything. But it's an issue because the politicians have made it an issue. Additionally, in Central California, there used to be a lot of oil production in Central California. The Rockies don't shut off the entire West Coast. They do a large sum of them, but at the same time, then what prices would affect California then technically could affect Arizona, because I've gone from Orange County to Arizona, and there's no Rocky Mountains. Okay, I've gone from California to Vegas, and there's no Rocky Mountains blocking that. Okay, so then what happens in California, our spike increases in California technically should spike increases in Arizona, Nevada, and those states, right? So I get what they're saying, but okay, I think that's allowing the politicians a little leeway to be off. Okay, so next thing. California also has cap and trade program that requires big greenhouse gas emitters like oil and gas refineries to offset their emissions by purchasing carbon credits. That's obviously passed along to the end user, in this case, motorists. California's Air Resources Board also requires gas stations in the state to only sell specific blends of gasoline formulated to minimize pollution. That blend is more expensive to produce, adding other costs that gets passed down to drivers. There are also additional fees at the pump, like other carbon offset fees, which it says that's about 19 cents per gallon. Then there are the taxes, okay? California has about a 51.1 cent tax on each gallon of gas, okay? So let's go back up here. So this really should be about, what, $5.50, right? Instead of $6, based on what they're saying here, okay? Just because of taxes, all right? It's a lot, but actually not the highest in the country. That honor goes to Pennsylvania with 58. Okay, got that. Sounds good. But California also has some of the highest income taxes and sales taxes. So the only thing that California has that's tax-wise that's less than a lot of the other states is a low property tax. Okay. By the time we talk about all the taxes, the carbon management program, whether it be carbon capture or the assessment of gasoline, it all adds up to a significant amount. California is in a league of its own because of its own standards. Exactly. So that's why when we talk about economic termites, the most detrimental of taxes, inflation, laws, regulations, time, and debt is laws and regulations. It's our politicians. Our politicians, their decisions affect, consequently, us as taxpayers. Okay? Because nothing is free. We see that. In the moment they say, well, it's not going to increase taxes, they're not going to do this, we all know BS. It's going to. Right? The reality is that they like to feed crap to us and think and tell us, oh, it's candy, but the reality is it's crap. Okay? And unfortunately, there's enough people in these certain areas that vote for these to allow this. In the last election, California voted for higher taxes on gas. Okay? So please don't complain to me that you have higher taxes when that's what you guys voted for. Now, if you didn't vote for that, then you need to get your friends and family to understand what this actually means. Okay? Now let's go to continue this conversation. Go to the list where these California counties have the most expensive or cheapest gas prices. I think this is appropriate to go through. Gas prices this is all based on the same time frame. Statewide, the average is $4.73. So that's why I said, they always like to show one of the most expensive areas, Beverly Hills, at $6, and it's the click factor. It's a shock factor, right? But the reality is, if you take the entire state, we're looking at $4.73. Okay. It's about $1 more, $1.50 more than the rest of the country. I'm in Texas. It's about $1.50 more, $1.60 more, than we were here in Texas. Okay. And I don't think it's because of, the beautiful Rocky Mountains, but that's okay. We'll go with that for now. The Bronze State, we're not going to call it the Golden State anymore. I'm just going to start calling it the Bronze State. The Bronze State are already paying more than that to fill up their tanks. According to the latest AAA, handful of counties are either inching closer to $5 a gallon or they're already above it. So let's look at that. So these are the counties where price of the gallons is above $4.90. So Mono, Humboldt, Trinity, Del Norte, Napa, San Luis Obispo. If you're from these counties, you've heard of these counties. If you're not from these counties, you've never heard of these counties. Napa, we've all heard because of the wineries. San Luis Obispo, because of the wineries. The rest of these, Humboldt, because of the university. But I've never heard of all these other ones. And I'm from Southern California, so these are all northern counties, northern state counties. And here are other counties where cost it's above $4.80. Okay. So just 10-cent difference. Sonoma, Marin, San Mateo, Nevada, San Benito, Sierra, Placer. Again, all Northern California counties. For the cheapest, these counties are currently at the lowest. King, Stanislaus, I have never heard of that. Glen, Butte, Butte. Yuba, Madera, Tehama. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these, but 450 which is right in line with what? Right in line with around 473, right? So these are the cheapest. Okay. Now Bakersfield is a little more expensive, but let's go to Southern California. Okay, which is where Beverly Hills is, where they showed us the high. So Los Angeles County is a behemoth of a county. Okay, it's 478. Okay, so it's one of the largest counties. Now, San Bernardino, from a landmass perspective, is the largest county. Okay, at $4.72. So it's a 6 cents difference. Ventura is very close. It's north of Los Angeles. Orange County is south of Los Angeles, and Riverside and San Bernardino are east of Los Angeles, Orange County. Okay, so Orange County is where I'm from. Okay, so here in Texas, this is about $1.60 more than where we're at here in Texas. A gallon, I should say. So 51 cents for the state of California goes to taxes. What about the other $1.10? And so now this is a big issue in my opinion. And as the current administration, not just the California administration, but the federal administration, they continue to make decisions. Now, remember, a little over a year ago, these weren't their prices. Okay, this has all been within a year. Okay, so why inflation's at 7.5% and climbing? Okay, it's not just because of, oh my goodness, what happened? People don't like mean tweets. There you go. This is what you get for not liking mean tweets. Most people don't even like to be on Twitter. And the reality is they weren't mean tweets. They were honest. People are offended by honesty now. Well, I'm going to be honest. You screwed up. I don't see a lot of Biden supporters anymore. They're all hiding with Biden. And this isn't a political conversation, but it is. Because over a year ago, we didn't have these issues. Okay? And so the moment that the administration's changed, the moment all of this started happening. Okay? You could look at all the world issues that are going on right now. Okay? They weren't going on during the 4 years of mean tweets. Okay? At the end of the day, a leader's lead. And unfortunately, we're not in that situation. So you and I as business owners, you and I as taxpayers, we got to work together to make sure our businesses are protected so we can protect our employees, so our employees continue to get a paycheck, they continue to show up to work, we continue to put food on their table, and they help us put food on our table. So collectively, as a community, we succeed and grow, and we have to work together. So we can't listen to this outside noise, this outside divisive conversation, and we really need to focus on the fundamentals of what made America great. And it's still you and I as Americans, okay? So we just need to be a little more bold. We need to walk with our head up. our chest out, our shoulders back. Okay. We need to be confident in who we are. We need to be leaders in our community. We need to be leaders in our businesses and allow ourselves and our people to thrive and excel. And the only way we can do that is together, collectively. So please, 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 if you like this, please subscribe, share it with your other business owner friends, share it with your colleagues. Let's get the message out. Leaders lead. And so let's lead. Let's do that. So thanks so much for attending and watching our video. And we look forward to seeing and hearing your comments and your thumbs up and your subscriptions. Thanks.